In today's episode, I am super excited because we are going to be talking about the 7 biggest mistakes that coaches make when they start their business. So stay tuned. You're listening to the Possibility Show podcast. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Possibility Show. And again, just like what I said, I'm super stoked to be sharing, the 7 biggest mistakes with you, so that you can be aware of them and avoid them in the future. Or if it's happening right now, you can do something about it as well. Here's the thing, right? I also experienced these mistakes as well in my journey, in my coaching business journey. And what I wished that I had was that I would have known a lot of this much earlier, so that I could have shortened my process. And some of them I was able to discover by myself. Here's the thing about mistakes, right? So sometimes what happens is that we keep doing things over and over again, not knowing that what we are doing is really a mistake. It's just like, this is what I know and this is what I need to do, so you do that and nothing is happening, you're not getting the results that you want. And then much later on, just like what happened for me, is that I discovered that, actually it's a mistake. It's either by myself or, which is the second, someone actually told me, that is a mistake. And it's a mentor or a coach who has more experience than me. Then they are pointing that, what you're actually doing doesn't work. It's a mistake. And that's when I start to change. And then it started to change my whole direction, the business, the direction of my business to the proper path. And I want that for you. And so that's why I prepared this episode specifically for that. And there's a lot of mistakes, but from my own experience and what I've learned, these are the 7 biggest mistakes that you need to look out for. So let's get started. I'm super excited. Coaches tend to think that they need a huge following or huge amount of followers before they can even start doing their coaching business. And I can't blame, I really cannot blame coaches for thinking like that. And because nowadays we live in an era wherein, influencers are the thing, right? And I know a lot of people, even in my own circle, that's what they go for, like they want to be influencers and they grow their social media channels and then, get deals from that. And this is kind of like what we see in our social media feed and what we are getting used to, and we start to compare ourselves to them. And so that's why, I can totally understand. And of course, not only the influencers, but nowadays, even big celebrities have, their own social media, and of course, the number of followers that they have is huge, right? And we always kind of like compare. Okay, so stop. And here's the truth. And this is a truth bomb. And in this episode, in each mistake, I'm gonna be dropping some truth bombs. So listen carefully. So the truth is the other way around. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that it's only when you start and commit to your business. And what I mean commit is really commit to your business. And that's when you start to see, the number of followers you have in social media or whatever platform you choose, then that's when it starts to grow. I remember because I'm in a lot of social media platforms, and of course there will be like 1 or 2 social media platforms that you are more comfortable with, or you've been, you know, there for much longer. And for me, that is actually Facebook. And I have my LinkedIn, I have my Instagram, you know, I've just started going into YouTube as well. And so all of these platforms, there'll be platforms that you'll be used to, or you've been doing quite well, if I can say it like that. There was a point in, you know, like many years ago, wherein, you know, I did have my Instagram page, but I kind of like don't know what to do with it, and I didn't really studied it, or, you know, used it in a way for my own business. But I'm very comfortable with Facebook, because Facebook is just like, you know, I'm used to posting personal stuff, or, you know, maybe quotes or whatever, right? And a lot of the people that I know is also on Facebook, and so I just kept on using Facebook. And so my Instagram account was like, you know, like, I don't know, less than 100, something like that. And I always thought that, oh, this platform is just for, like, you know, younger people. And I never kind of like really went into Instagram. And even though I started an account with Instagram much early, you know, like very at the early phase of Instagram, I was already there. And now that, you know, like a lot of people are really using Instagram very well, they've grown, and now like, oh man, like I felt that I've, you know, missed out in that. But then when I started to become really serious about my business, and I started posting things in Instagram that would, you know, help my business, or it's related to my business, then the number of people who started following me Instagram started to increase. Now I just tripled the number of followers that I have now is 300 plus, starting from, you know, like less than 100. And the shift that I did was just to be more serious about, you know, posting there intentionally. What do I want to show? And of course, I'm still fine-tuning that, but I still have my, you know, Facebook, and now my YouTube have grown to 1,000 plus followers, subscribers. And, you know, so these two platforms are where I'm focusing at, but I'm developing, you know, like Instagram and other things, because now I'm really serious and committed in, you know, succeeding in my coaching business. And you can do exactly the same thing. But that's the thing, you need to take it seriously and start first, then it will start to grow, right? It's the other way around. And then the second thing is that the truth is that we can always use ads in order to reach more people. So if you want to get, you know, clients, you can use ads in order to reach people that are outside of your network, right? So if you have this network, if you want to reach out to more people, you can use ads. Because the reality is, and this goes for, you know, even if you have 100,000 followers or maybe 1,000 followers, the truth is that the algorithm limits the number of people who can see your content anyway. So it's just based on the percentage. So what the algorithm does is that it just sends out to maybe like 10 to 20% of your total network. So they see that, and then the algorithm checks if your content is engaging enough. You know, are there people, you know, liking it, commenting it, sharing it? And that's the only time that the algorithm will see if this content is really, you know, good enough to be distributed to more people. And that's kind of like how it works. So when that happens, then it sends out to more people, and then it sends out to more people until, you know, the engagement dies down. And in order to get out of that you know, fixed working procedure of the algorithm, then we need to use ads. So that's the first mistake that we have corrected, right? Okay, mistake number two. Mistake number two is that coaches feel or have this desire to help everyone. And I know, oh my God, I know I went through the same process. And again, going back to like knowing that coaches really have a big heart and they want to help people, right? And it's because, you know, coaching can really be life transformational. And for my own experience, it has totally changed my life as well. And because of that wonderful experience, I want everyone to be able to experience the same thing. But here's the thing though. The truth is only those people who are ready and are willing to be helped, those people are the ones that will get the transformation. And that's just the truth. No matter how much, you know, you want to push your coaching to other people, you can either, you know, offer your coaching service for free, or you can, you know, reach out to family and friends. You know, I've done that, and in fact, some of the people that I reach out to, and when I ask them, you know, do you want to get some coaching and things like that, and you know, some of the response that I get, is there something wrong with me? And I'm like, no, but you know, maybe there's something that, you know, you want some help. And so that's the thing, like, you know, the reality is every individual person would have different problems in what they're facing in life. You know, at that specific moment in their life, they are experiencing a different problem from someone else. And you know, coaching, I know that coaching is, especially if you've learned like a coaching tool, like for example NLP, or maybe like even generic ones, you know, like to be able to, you know, ask powerful questions, is really applicable to different areas in life. And that's why we need to focus, right, as well. And we understand that coaching can be really powerful, and to be able to help different people with different problems that they have. But the thing is that, again, going back to, are they ready to receive that help, or are they willing to really open up and, you know, get coaching? So when those two things are in place, then these people will definitely are ready for the transformation that coaching can provide. So if you can imagine, it's like, you know, it's like a dam, right? It's like a dam, and then no matter how much water there is or how strong the water it is, when it hits the dam, it just stops, right? So people who are not ready yet have that. Until such time that they open up the dam, then that's the only time the water can go through, right? So it's like that. So mistake number 3 is that I see this as well, and I experience this as well, is that after that, they do nothing. And they just expect that someone will find them and will hire them, you know, for their services, or maybe buy their products. So the truth is, another truth bomb, and this might sound like a bit harsh, but that's a lazy way of doing things. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I think we have to have a mentality or a mindset that whatever we want in life that is really worth getting, we need to put some work to get that. You know, we do need to put some work. And it's really no different from, you know, going to your work, to your job. You know, you go to your job, you work 9 to 5, you know, for maybe even longer, for 30 days, and then at the end of the month you get your salary. Maybe in some countries, maybe every 2 weeks you get your salary. But in order to get that salary, you need to work, right? And it's the same thing. The only thing is that now that we want something that we are gonna be doing something that we are passionate about, and we enjoy it, we find it meaningful, and then that's the time that it doesn't feel like work, but we still need to put in work, right? We still need to put in work. But of course, here's the secret, like in business, we need to put in a lot of work at the start, but it's possible to work less after. And a lot of people think that this after, or the many years after, when the business is really running, this is what they see, that this is what's normal when you start a business. Like, you don't have to work. We do have to work, and that's just the reality of this. So that's the truth. Mistake number 4. This one is super interesting. Some of the coaches that I met are like this, is that they want everything to be perfect first before they put it out there, or they hit publish, whatever it is. Like, it can be as simple as posting in social media. They want it to be perfect before they actually hit post. The reality is we make mistakes. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we fumble in our words. Sometimes we say wrong things, and this is like normal conversation. And I feel that this is part of being authentic, right? Being authentic. And so what if you make a mistake in one of their posts, or maybe you said something that not everyone agreed, which is something that we actually can talk about more in future episodes. Are you gonna die when that happens, if you make a mistake? No, right? And here's the thing, you can always correct those things. And especially now in the digital age, it's so easy to edit things. You post something and then you find that, you made a mistake. Okay, you go and edit it, right? It's okay. So how many of you have taken a plane before? A lot of us have taken planes before, maybe to just interstate, or maybe, to another country. And how many of you think that the planes fly in like a straight line? No. So how many of you think that the airplane flies in a perfect line from where you started until the destination, and it never changes? No, right? It always changes. And in fact, they make minor shifts and corrections along the way, especially if there's bad weather, or there's changes in the environment, changes in the wind, and all of this. They make minor shifts and changes until you are able to land and reach the destination. Our own journey as well, it won't be perfect. And the key here is to try it out, take action and then correct. Take action, correct. Take action, correct. Take action, correct. Take action, correct, right? So that is the key in order for you to be successful. Mistake number 5 is that some coaches think that they need to post and post and post more in social media, then that's how they will get clients. And okay, I am guilty of this as well. For many years, that's kind of like what I did. Like, even in my Instagram, that's what I did. Like, I keep kept posting, and I was wondering like, how come my Instagram is not growing? There are so many people out there that their Instagram is like boop, just went big. And the key here is you need to have the right content first before anything else. Because yes, putting out a lot of content definitely helps in terms of like the algorithm seeing you as someone who is committed and regularly posting. But if you are not posting the right content, the right messages to reach the people that you want to reach, then it's for nothing, right? And so that's kind of like what happened to me. And I've been posting about myself, the places that I've been to, maybe food, which is quite common, or maybe I've been posting quotes and all this, and it really didn't affect my social media a lot. And that's kind of like a mistake that I only saw like after many years. All right, we are down to the last two biggest mistakes. And so mistake number 6, and I see this to some of the coaches that I've worked with as well, is that they feel that they need more certifications before they actually start helping people. And of course, going through some of them, working through all of this, we find that some of it comes from like feeling of not being good enough. And so let us tackle that. So the truth is that first I want to say this is that I have nothing against getting yourself certified first. And in fact, I myself have gone through the same thing. When I decided that I want to like take this coaching business seriously, the first thing that I thought of is that, okay, if I'm gonna be really, really serious about this coaching business, I would definitely need to be certified properly in order, because the reality is there are people out there, or there are companies that they would look for these kind of things, right? So let's just get out of that, let's just acknowledge that, and then I can move forward from there. So yes, I myself got certified. So I went and looked for a certification body that is respectable or well known in the market, and then what kind of tools do I want to use, and that's how I got into getting myself certified in neuro-linguistic programming. I signed up for a coaching program, which is a 6 to 8 months program, wherein I really got to learn the skills, the understand the coaching business, got my hours, got my practice, all of this, right? So that's for me, like, yes, we need to do that in order to really, really serve the people that we want to serve properly, right? And I even got myself certified in ICF, International Coaching Federation, because that is, the one of the top certification body for coaches in the world. And all of this is because in my mind, if I'm gonna be serious about this coaching business, then yes, I definitely need to get certified. But do I need all of those certifications to help other people, to start helping other people? Not really, because the fact is, I have, for many years before when I started that process, for many years, I've coached other people as well. I've coached them in, positive psychology. I've coached people in terms of business. I've coached people in leadership. And it's because I wanted to help. and I had this knowledge, I had these tools, but I didn't had, like that time, like a proper certification. That's what you're looking for. So in order to help people, I think we can start now. It doesn't really matter if we have those certifications at the end of the day, right? In fact, when I was even doing the process of getting certified, I was coaching people as well. Of course, part of it is because I wanted to clock in my hours, but at the same time, my desire to help people was driving me to reach out to people and help now rather than later, right? Because if we do step back and look at it, and if we just pick one person that we want to help, does this person really look out for, your certifications and things like that? No. People who have problems are just looking for solutions, and that's basically it. And if you are someone that can help them find the solution for them, then they would go for you for help. You get that? So let me repeat that. So at the end of the day, people who have problems are looking for solutions. And if you can help them find these solutions, right? In coaching, we ask questions and then they'll be able to find their own answers, themselves. Then they will go for you because you are able to help them find the solution for them. So why not, if you already know now that you have these tools, then you can start. Because at the end of the day, I think it's not really about, the knowing all this thing. It's just the fear that's behind that. And that's something that can be worked out. So we are into the last biggest mistake. So mistake number 7 is that, and this is super common as well, I see this a lot, is that coaches tend to think that they need to have a really great idea first before they even start. They think that their idea needs to be unique and one of a kind in the world. And what I feel is that they believe that this is the only way that you can be successful. And not true at all, because the truth is that ideas are really common. And I've been in business now for like 14 years, and this is something that I also had when I first started my entrepreneurship journey, is that I always think that, I need to have that special idea in order to succeed in business. And the reality is there's only 1 to 2% of the whole population of people who want to start their business that will probably get this kind of rare ideas, right? Or maybe even more, but then there'll be only even less people that will be successful with that. And it's kind of like my mindset, like I'm looking at all of this, people who have become super successful, who have this like grand idea, like great one of a kind idea. And in my experience, many years of experience in business, is that ideas just come left and right, come and go. And you might have experienced that as well, like you had that moment when you probably heard or saw something, and then suddenly it popped into your mind that like, hey, wait, I thought of that before, that maybe you've seen like a business or product that you see and then, hey, I've thought of that idea before. Why didn't I do that now? It's successful. And I've had that like many times in my life, right? Especially after being in the entrepreneurship world. I always have this idea. I remember this one story very vividly when many years ago when I was still hanging out a lot in the startup community. I attended a lot of events, and there's this one particular event where there was a fireside chat with a very successful CEO of a blog in blog company in Singapore, which is called The Asian Parent. And so this lady, so she presented a bit like how was she able to build her digital company successfully and what it took and everything, right? And then during the Q&A part, one guy asked her a very particular question, and he asked, why are you okay sharing all of this information? How she was able to build this business. Like, wouldn't other, he continued to ask, wouldn't other people copy and do what you just said? And then I was like, oh yeah, like to me I was like, yeah, why is she sharing all of this? Like, I resonated with that question. And when I heard her answer, her name is Roshni, if I can remember correctly, it really stuck. It really stuck. Until now, I can still remember. She said, well, I'm okay because I'm very confident of myself. I am confident that I can execute better than anyone else. And that's it. And I was like, wow.
Say what?
Wow. It's because you see, since ideas are like everywhere, it's all about execution. So those people who do get those rare ideas and are able to execute are the ones who really will succeed. And those are a very small percentage, right? Like, go big. But then there are other successful people, which is a greater part of the whole market. They got an idea which probably someone else got, like a lot of people other people got the same idea, but then they are very good at execution. And that's why they succeeded more than the other people. And if we go back to this to the CEO, Roshni, there's so many blogs during that time, which was like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And she stood out from all of those blogs, and it's because she was able to execute really well. And that's what made the difference. So as you can see, it's not about having, that one-of-a-kind idea. You can get ideas everywhere. But you take that idea that you like, and execute. Right? And going back to another thing we talked about earlier is execute, then correct. Execute, correct. So all of this you combine for you to become more successful in your coaching business. So those are the 7 biggest mistakes. And I do hope that is very valuable for you, and it has created a certain level of awareness as well that will help you in your journey, in your coaching business. And again, if you find the content super valuable, please do share this to people in your network that you think that will benefit from this. And finally, if you do want, feel free to go and listen to this again and really digest each and every one of these mistakes and see, how is this showing up in your own coaching business, or maybe how it will show up and how you can avoid it when you are just going to start your coaching business. So feel free to listen in again anytime that you like. Treat this as a resource for you in your coaching business. Okay? So with that ends our episode today. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you are watching this in YouTube. And I'll see you in the next one. Oh, hey there. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember to click the bell button so you get updated of the new videos. See you in the next one.